You were here with By the Cover. Today I'm going to be reviewing Razorblade Tears by S.A. Cosby. This book was 319 pages and took me 3 days to read. I would rate this a 9.7 out of 10. This review may contain spoilers, so if you do not want to hear those, click off now. The synopsis: two ex-con fathers team up to avenge the murder of their two sons. As far as my likes with this book, I read All Sinners Bleed before this, which is also by S.A. Cosby, and I really did not like that book. It seemed like S.A. Cosby was trying to push a social narrative in that book and was putting that ahead of telling an actually good story. This one I really enjoyed because it was telling a great story with a side of social commentary. Whereas I found in All Sinners Bleed, it was just being shoved down your throat. This book did it very subtly and in what I would consider more real moments between two interesting characters, and the learning comes through interactions, not just somebody preaching at you about what they think. I found this social commentary to be far more effective. I loved the way that Razorblade Tears put the story first, the social commentary as a side note, but also in doing that made it far more effective. I loved that the pacing in this book was super quick. It only took a couple of chapters to really get the momentum going, and like all good books that stick with me, this did a lot of things well. It had great humor in it. It had two characters that I actually cared about. Even more than that, I loved the two characters together. Their interactions were priceless. It was a very heartfelt story. While the two sons are murdered in the beginning of the book, you spend a lot of time looking back from the father's perspective on things that they didn't do quite so well, parenting-wise. And by the end, you kind of get to know these kids even though you never knew them when they were alive. So I thought the book did a great job at giving us what life was like before the tragic incident. I really do think that S.A. Cosby is great at painting pictures with words. I just think in All Sinners Bleed, he leaned way too heavily into flowery language without actually saying anything. In Razorblade Tears, that's corrected, and he uses it sparingly, but it's very effective. I thought the author did a great job at switching POVs and really moving the story along as well at the same time, which sometimes can suffer if you're doing different POVs. I thought this book had an absolutely great ending. As far as my dislikes in the book, there really wasn't much in it to dislike. The only thing I didn't like so much was there's a specific chapter with a guy named Slice that's giving some of Ike's backstory, and I thought that was a bit too long. But otherwise, for my tastes, I think this book was just about perfect. I will also say that I absolutely loved Buddy Lee's character. I thought he was super entertaining. All Sinners Bleed got bad marks from me. Razorblade Tears gets nearly perfect marks from me. I'm glad I gave this author another chance, and I'm looking forward to reading Blacktop Wasteland next when I get back to reading this author's works. So that's about it. We'll catch you later.